What's up, PlayStation fans? Welcome back to Knowledge Flow. If you're a gamer, you've probably heard the latest buzz. The PS5 Pro is officially on the horizon. But here's the big question: how does it really stack up against the good old PS5 we know and love? Is it a game changer, or just a shiny mid-gen upgrade? Well, let's break it down. Today, we're going head-to-head with the PS5 versus the PS5 Pro. Is it worth upgrading? Or is it more hype than substance? Stay tuned, because we've got some spicy details to uncover. The PS5 dropped in 2020, and it's been an absolute beast. With a custom AMD Zen 2 processor and RDNA 2 GPU, this thing packed a punch right out of the gate. It gave us 4K gaming, fast load times, and that glorious DualSense controller. Seriously, that haptic feedback is a game changer. But it's been a few years, and as games push more boundaries, even the PS5 is starting to feel, dare I say it, a little dated? Enter the PS5 Pro. So, what exactly is the PS5 Pro bringing to the table? Well, according to Sony, a lot more firepower. Let's start with the GPU. The GPU is the star of the show with the PS5 Pro. It's still built on the same AMD RDNA 2 architecture, but this time it's packing way more power under the hood. The original PS5 had 36 compute units, giving it a solid performance boost over previous consoles. But the PS5 Pro? It's ramping that up by a whopping 67% to 60 compute units. Now, I know what you're thinking: what does that even mean for me? Well, buckle up, because we're talking about faster frame rates, better graphics, and the ability to handle 4K gaming without breaking a sweat. To put that into perspective, the PS5 Pro's GPU is on par with the AMD Radeon RX 6800, a serious PC gaming card. Basically, if you thought your games looked good on the PS5, the Pro is going to take it to a whole new level. And we haven't even talked about ray tracing yet. The PS5 Pro is also getting next-gen ray tracing hardware. That's right, Sony has thrown in some unreleased AMD tech, which should finally close the gap between Team Red and Nvidia. That means games are going to look even more realistic, with better lighting, shadows, and reflections. You know those jaw-dropping moments when you see light bouncing off a wet street? Yeah, it's gonna look even more insane. Now, before we all start drooling, let's talk about some other upgrades. The PS5 Pro might not be a generational leap in performance, but it's certainly a huge mid-gen upgrade. What else does it bring to the table? Let's check it out. In terms of memory, the PS5 Pro is sticking with the same 16GB of GDDR6 RAM, but the speed is bumped up by 28%, hitting around 560GB per second of bandwidth. That's going to make a noticeable difference in game performance, especially in high-res 4K modes. More speed means smoother gameplay when things get intense. Now, the SSD seems to be sticking with the same high-end setup as the PS5, which is plenty fast. Loading times? Still going to be practically non-existent. So, no major upgrades there. But honestly, the PS5's SSD was already a game-changer, so we're not complaining. One of the most exciting new features is the AI-based upscaling tech, aka PSSR, or PlayStation Spatial Super Resolution. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but this is where the magic happens. Unlike the checkerboard upscaling the PS5 used, the PS5 Pro's AI upscaling can more accurately fill in the missing pixels, giving you a clearer, sharper image without sacrificing performance. It's basically Sony's answer to Nvidia's DLSS, and it's going to make those 4K games look sharper than ever. Sony hasn't spilled all the beans on how this tech works yet, but from what we've seen, it's going to be a massive step forward in upscaling technology, making sure your games look crispy clean even if they're being upscaled from a lower resolution. And finally, the CPU. Sony didn't spend much time talking about it, which means it's probably not changing. That's not a bad thing, though. The PS5 already had a powerful 8-core Zen 2 processor, and it's still more than enough for modern games. It's the GPU and graphics that are taking center stage here. But hold on a second, what about the price? Here's where things get tricky. The PS5 Pro is rumored to launch around $699 compared to the $499 price tag for the base PS5. That's a big jump for a mid-gen refresh, especially since the AMD Radeon RX 6800 GPU that powers the Pro goes for around $350 right now. So, is it worth the upgrade? So, let's wrap this up. If you're someone who wants the absolute best in gaming performance, loves cutting-edge graphics, and is obsessed with playing games at 4K with all the bells and whistles, then, yeah, the PS5 Pro is going to be hard to resist. 8K gaming might still be a dream, but 4K at higher frame rates? It's coming. But if you're happy with your PS5 right now, and the idea of dropping an extra couple $100 doesn't sound appealing, don't sweat it. The PS5 is still an amazing console that's going to be relevant for years to come. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you sold on the PS5 Pro, or are you sticking with your trusty PS5? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get the conversation started. And of course, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest gaming and tech breakdowns. This is Knowledge Flow, and I'll see you in the next one.